I'm Pat Iyer, and in this video I want to share with you the critical importance of website security. LNC business owners need to be able to focus on running their business. That means you have to have a website that works, that brings in new clients, and brings past clients back. An effective site has a ranking that's high on Google and on other search engines. When you have those things, your site will become a profit center as opposed to overhead. Security is a key ingredient for your website. Why is security important? We all hear about hackers. In the worst cases, hacking can make your domain serve nasty links to porn sites and download the kind of junk that makes you think the FBI is going to come busting through your door any second. In the LNC niche, if lawyers who arrive at your site find this, the odds are very strong you can say goodbye to their business. This kind of material on your website says, "I was not prepared and I got hacked." This is far from a professional image. Site attacks can happen to everyone, even the smallest sites. They can be very intense, with hundreds of attacks in one day. This burns up your hosting resources and also makes your site run slowly. The biggest cost to the business owner is that it takes your focus away from your primary task, which is building your business and doing your business. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That may be a cliche, but when it comes to website security, it's the truth. It happened to me. My legal nurse consulting website was hacked 7 or 8 years ago. I found to my horror one day male performance drugs were displayed on the homepage of my website. It took a bit of finagling in order to close the door the hacker used to get onto the site, and it was personally very dismaying. Luckily, none of my clients commented on it, and we found it and shut it down within hours. You need to have somebody who understands website security in charge. My site was hacked a second time in June 2020, just as I was ready to start promoting our first virtual conference. I thought it was all tightly buttoned up. I was wrong. You can't ignore it. It's bothersome when you have a vague idea that you should be doing something about online security and you have no clue what to do. It sometimes seems a far easier way to stick your head in the sand and focus on your business instead. We avoid discussing it. Some folks would rather tell you their most intimate secrets and indiscretions than tell you what their security measures are. Most of the time, they don't really know. They either don't understand them or they don't have any. It's one of those areas where if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's about prevention rather than cure. A little pro-action now will save you a ton of what I call GNA, grief and aggravation, later on. Websites have layers. When we begin our online presence, our biggest issue is that we don't know what we don't know when we're first starting out. It's a process, learning where all the trips and the traps are. One of the pitfalls has to do with how you construct your site. Avoid free website themes. They're like a cheap box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. When someone creates a theme and charges for it, he or she has a level of commitment to coding it well and the willingness to back it up with excellent support that's going to be much higher than somebody giving it away for free. That's the first thing to understand. The second thing is to understand that you invite somebody into your website. You're also inviting them to share information or data if they're signing up on forms, or especially if they're buying something on your site. Even when they're just traveling through your site, looking at different pages, they leave little data trails behind them. That's why security is so important. You don't only want to protect the security of your site and your business so that you don't get hacked, You also don't want the possibility that malware gets on your site, and anyone who comes to visit it picks it up along the way. There are some free tools and plugins that you can get that help LNCs if they're doing this by themselves. But I would almost say you probably won't do surgery on yourself. Even if you were a surgeon, I would recommend having an expert build your website and set up the security to make your site secure. I recommend a free plugin called WordFence. It's available in the wordpress.org repository. When you first download WordFence, you look at it and you say, I don't even know what all this means, because it is very techy. When WordFence is properly configured, it will generate the alerts that you need to see and keeps your inbox clear of the ones that you don't. Above all, avoid complacency. You may think your site will never get attacked because it's small and not important in the website world. You don't have a big site like a commercial company. Here's a story that could change your mind. This happened to a legal nurse consultant who looked at her website on her cell phone and got a message that said, "You've been visiting too many porn sites." It was actually one of the worst cases the security expert she brought in had ever seen. It left the LNC feeling violated. If you build your business and you're using your website the way that you should be, as a profit center, not as an overhead cost or an overhead center, it should be generating leads for you. When somebody comes in and defiles that, you feel an urgency to protect yourself from it ever happening again. In that particular case, the hackers had put in something that may have a familiar name to you in Greek mythology. The Trojan horse was full of Greek warriors who conquered Troy. The modern-day Trojan horse is the little gift left behind by hackers. The LNC site had been built with very basic usernames and passwords. Once the hackers discovered this, they pushed in a Trojan horse that disseminated nasty code throughout her site in multiple places. The end result was a site that was like a sexually transmitted disease. It was going to infect everyone who came in contact with it. The site showed child pornography videos. One of the hackers hid a backdoor file on her site designed to reinstall the malware after a certain period. Even if the security expert had cleaned it up, if she had not found the backdoor file, the site was booby-trapped to automatically get reinfected. Don't let this happen to you. Have a person who is expert in website security work on your site to protect you. And be sure to subscribe to this channel to get part 2 of this series of LNC website security videos. I'm Pat Iyer, president of the Pat Iyer Group and a legal nurse consultant. Get more by subscribing to this YouTube channel. I'll see you again soon.